What's going on, moviegoers? If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian. Welcome to C-Real Productions. Maybe the hierarchy of power in the DCEU, guys, was about to change for a big thing. Now, you guys, we all remember how The Rock was pressing DC fans and pressing Warner Brothers and how he was going to change and evolve the world of DC. A lot of fans and a lot of people, including myself, thought he was a little bit too ambitious. But if you take a look at the box office run for the latest films in the DCU, guys, The Rock is at the very top with Black Adam. It's insane to me to think that. The Rock has such a massive fan base within the wrestling community, even in the acting community. A lot of people love Dwayne The Rock Johnson, right? A lot of people get behind his image. A lot of people get behind the way he lives his lifestyle, right? So when him being cast as Black Adam 1,500 years ago and then finally making the movie, a lot of fans were hyped to see what the hype level evolving around this character and evolving around The Rock was. Now, granted, it wasn't a massive success. It wasn't reviewed so well and positively by critics and fans. Now, I think Black Adam, personally, to me, I think it's an okay movie. It's not something I want to rewatch, but I still enjoyed what the film had to offer. But to talk about the box office run between Black Adam and the last, 6 or 7 DCU projects, you guys, Black Adam sits at the top. It legit sits at the top. Now, the first Shazam movie, right, made $679 million. Birds of Prey made $205 million. Wonder Woman 1984, $169 million, and The Flash, $168 million. Now, granted, those two films came out when we were still massively in a pandemic. So maybe those films get a pass. Shazam 2, $133 million. The Flash currently sits at the box office of $245 million, you guys. Black Adam grossed $393 million. Now, before Black Adam, the highest grossing DCEU movie of all time was Aquaman in 2018. Aquaman, you guys, 2018, to reach $1 billion at the box office. Black Adam has outgrossed each of those films that I said, you guys. So Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 1984, The Suicide Squad, Shazam 2, The Flash, Shazam, outgrossed all of those movies. The Flash won't even make damn near $50 million closer to what Black Adam made. I don't even think The Flash is going to cross $300 million at the box office. It is wildly insane to me to think that the Flash movie won't outgross a Black Adam movie. That is just crazy. Like, I can't be the only person who thinks that. Like, the Flash movie had hype level potential. So I remember the trailers were dropping. Everybody was hyped. Everybody was hyped to see Michael Keaton return as Batman. I mean, it's crazy to me to think that The Flash is struggling so significantly at the box office. It's just weekend after weekend, box office drop. At this rate, you know, it's a done deal. And apparently Warner Brothers is taking it out of 1,500 movie theaters, you guys. They understand that this film has cost them a lot of money. And maybe they were better off not even releasing this movie. That is just insane to me. It is insane to me that the hierarchy of power within the DC universe, you guys, was The Rock. Maybe The Rock was the savior. You know what I mean? The fact that Black Adam almost made $400 million outgrossing some of these big name characters like The Flash, you know what I mean? Or Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 1984. Now, like I said before, maybe that gets a pass because that was in the mix of the pandemic. But it's so outrageous to me and so just mind-blowing that, you know, none of these films are doing well financially. None of these DCU movies have done well financially. And if I'm Warner Brothers, that's a sign of distress. That's a sign of worry. Like, the fact that none of your films in the last, 4 years have grossed over $500 million is a massive concern. Now, we can talk about other elements of why these things don't succeed. Well, for instance, a lot of people say superhero movie fatigue. A lot of people are tired within, you know, the DC universe. So what happened to Zack Snyder? The fandom just isn't behind Warner Brothers anymore. James Gunn's reboot. But one thing we aren't talking about is the ridiculous movie budgets that these studios are releasing. Like, for instance, Lucasfilms, Indiana Jones, the fifth one, Dial of Destiny. I have no desire to watch it. I've never seen Indiana Jones movies. Never will watch it. But the fact that that movie had a budget north of $325 million and it only grossed 150 million worldwide opening weekend is concerning. It is concerning. These movie budgets are outrageously high for no reason. Why does a comic book movie cost you $200 million to make? Let's take, for instance, dating back to some of the earlier comic book movies. Or even Deadpool, the first Deadpool movie. The budget was $66 million. Made $782 million. X-Men, the first X-Men movie, $75 million. The film ended up making roughly around $260 million. The first Spider-Man movie, the budget was $139 million, grossed $825 million. The first Iron Man movie, budget was $140 million, ended up grossing $585 million. Why are these comic book movies so much more expensive nowadays? Maybe you start challenging your director. Here's your budget. You have $100 to $150 million to make this movie. Get creative and get it done. I think they're just the carte blanche for these movie budgets are just ridiculous. And the marketing, you guys. Why does the studio have to spend $100 million marketing a movie? Everybody should take a lesson from what Ryan Reynolds has done with his career and marketing strategies for his businesses. Best believe Deadpool 3 is going to have one of the greatest marketings of all time. And that's because of Ryan Reynolds himself. Period. It's just that these budgets, you guys, are just ridiculous. Now, granted, like budgets like the Avatar or, Avengers Endgame, you kind of have to have these massive scale budgets because of the scale of these projects. Like Avatar is wildly expensive because it's a wildly expensive movie to make, especially with the, the visual effects and all that stuff. So there's going to be a profit made because not only are they successfully critically and financially, they're successful within the fandom. People love seeing these movies and they're going to go to the theaters no matter what. I mean, the first two Avatars movies made $1 billion at the box office. Huge success. Yeah, they probably cost roughly $400 to $500 million to make. It's going to make its money back. So there's no worry there. Avengers Endgame, you know what I mean? The budget was so high. Made $1 billion, I think, opening weekend. It's crazy. It's crazy how much those movies can generate at the box office. But at the same time, I'm like, well, are these actors kind of overpaid? It could be concerning. Like, let's say the budget is $100 million and 2 or 3 of your actors take up $40 million just within their budget for how much they're getting paid. And it's like, holy crap. Okay, well, now we only have, $45 to $60 million to make this movie? We can't go over budget because the studio is going to go crazy. So maybe that could be a problem as well. So are some of these actors and actresses overpaid? You know what I mean? I mean, apparently Harrison Ford, he's done his due diligence. He's been in Hollywood for quite some time. He's had a reputation of being one of the greatest actors. But are you still worth $20 million at the box office? Let's be honest with you. This young generation, nobody knows about Indiana Jones. So why make an Indiana Jones movie? Is it for nostalgia? Because best believe you have these people who are older now, who are 40s and their 50s, they're not interested in going to movie theaters anymore because how wildly expensive it is. But then do you take that in consideration as well? Movie tickets nowadays are just way too damn expensive. It's an event just to take you and your children and your family to a movie. You're end up spending $125 for 2 hours? Is it worth it? Oh, we'll just wait till it's on Disney Plus in a couple of months, and then we'll order a bunch of pizzas. We'll end up spending 25 to 30, 40 bucks just that day to watch the new Indiana Jones movie. So there's that to also take into consideration as well, you guys. I kind of went off around this video of, my concerns of what's happening with Hollywood and these budgets and the box office. It's definitely scary because, who knows what's going to happen, in the future. I mean, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the budget was $100 million and grossed $600 million at the box office. Huge success. But, those movies take so much time to make. I mean, it took 4 or 5 years to get Across the Spider-Verse out. Beyond the Spider-Verse, ain't no way in hell's coming out next year. Especially with all the drama evolving around how Sony's treating their animators right now. So that's a whole new problem. I just take care of your animators. Take care of the people doing your visual effects. Because at the end of the day, you don't want your film looking like The Flash. And yes, you guys, that is a shot. But post your comments down below, you guys. Let me know what you guys think. Was The Rock right about the hierarchy of power in the DC world? Was he the right person to take over? What are you guys' thoughts and opinions, you guys, on DC's latest box office runs? Post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.